Okay, everyone, we're gonna go ahead and get started. I'm gonna call this meeting to order at 2:01 and then do roll call. I'm aware Katie Yard is not coming and Lindsay Valdez is not coming. Andy? Is here.
Here.
Steve?
Here.
Lana? Penny? Sarah?
Here.
Did everyone get a chance to look over the agenda?
Yes.
I have a motion to approve it.
So moved.
Anna, second.
Second.
Steve. Alright, did everybody look at the minutes from the 15th of June? Okay, I need a motion to approve. Steve, second.
Second.
Perfect. Okay, first order of business is a scheduled public comment by the Libertarian Party of Clear Creek County. Daniel and Chris, you guys going together? Please step up just a little bit so that you can be on the Zoom. I'll let you know when you're close enough. I want it right there is perfect. So go ahead and introduce yourselves and you have about 5 or so minutes.
Okay. Hi, my name is Christopher Hardman. This is Daniel Lutz. And we are here today to try to get an exemption added to the parking enforcement. Currently, there's no exemption for disabled veterans. And we think it'd be a great opportunity for this community to have disabled veterans from Denver, et cetera, come up and go, why not spend the day up in Idaho Springs walking around? It's free to park. So the caveat would be vehicles tagged with disabled veteran plates shall be exempted from paying the paid parking areas. If they have a placard, well, we're really sorry, but that's not. It has to be the disabled veteran plates. That way, as parking enforcement is walking around, they're going plate, up, disabled veteran. I don't even have to look at it, plate. So yeah, our idea is that it would make a whole community of people that want to come up here, want to spend money up here, able to come up here and spend money without having to worry about parking.
How do they learn about this? Well, that would be pretty much on the citizens and city of Idaho Springs to advertise that they are extending this to disabled veterans. I've talked to several disabled veterans around the state, several of them who work for the post office, various different areas, and they love Clear Creek County. They love Idaho Springs. They didn't love the paid parking and they started finding other places to go. We also have a very high number of disabled veterans in Clear Creek County in and of itself. Several of these people are residents and they're like me. They're not super big fans of turning in their information to get onto the paid parking. This would get, or into the free list of the paid parking. This would get them taken care of. Just some background information. In order to receive a disabled veteran plate in the state of Colorado, you have to prove with your DD-214 and medical records that you are a honorably discharged veteran and more than 30% service-connected disability. So everyone who has that would be a honorable veteran and 30% service-connected disability or more. It should not cut too deeply into the revenue from the parking. As we see, the parking does stay pretty well full and it will drive more business from a community that I think we really want to see more of in Clear Creek County and in Idaho Springs.
The other concept of that is it's an easy, hey, we're the good guys. We're trying to look out for our veterans that looked out for us. So we already have a great advertising campaign that, Ms. Schultz and you guys have set up. So it wouldn't be very hard to add to your Facebook groups, your website. We now offer free parking for disabled veterans. Hooray.
Awesome, thank you guys so much.
Cool.
Awesome.
Thank you so
Very
much.
good. Thank you. Usually public comment, we don't respond, but we can talk about it during the open session. If you guys want to bring it up, then we can add it to our agenda. Yeah, it would be an added recommendation to city council. So Marty, we've got I've got a session coming up to city council. We can always make that recommendation if the board would like. We have a couple of other recommendations that we're discussing at today's meeting.
One question I have is how does that differ from the handicap tags or
So handicap tags, go ahead, Daniel.
the hangers?
Disabled veterans do not automatically get handicap placards. I am 100% disabled veteran. I do not have a handicap placard, nor is my tag rated to park in a handicap zone. So I can't park in a handicap spot. I have to park in regular parking.
It's a military designation versus a physical disability designation. I mean, while some disabled veterans also might carry handicap tags, correct?
Yes.
But not all disabled veterans have handicap. So some handicap will also be disabled veteran, while some disabled veterans just don't qualify for a handicap tag. Okay, any unscheduled public comment? Alrighty, moving on to the director's report. Wow, full couple of months, since June, we've been going through a lot, and we actually have been able to get quite a bit accomplished. But the first thing I wanted to inform the board was, Andy and I did receive a letter of resignation from Lindsay Valdez, resigning from the board due to just not having enough time and capacity to actively participate on the board the way she would like to. Super grateful to be a community partner through CCEDC. In your guys' packet, you will see the email I responded with in her original resignation. What that does is open us up a board vacancy. And so Andy and I kind of discussed what that looks like. I have spoken to 3 community members who are interested in applying for this role, as well as we would post it in the newsletter that goes out this week. The timeline would be that they would need to submit a letter of interest to myself and Wonder by August 5th. And then at the August 10th council meeting, council would interview them just like all of you were interviewed, and then council would make the decision to appoint that board member. Does anybody have any questions on that policy or protocol? Okay, so that's that.
I have a question, sort of like tangent. Do we need to have a new vice chair? Or like, is that a position we should fill, or like, what's the timing and how all that's working?
I would imagine that once we get a new person on, if we want to have a conversation around roles and responsibilities, because I think something Steve and I have talked about is that as a vice chair, we weren't really even quite sure what that roles and responsibilities really took on. While Steve and I meet like at least once a week or sometimes more, depending on what's going on. I didn't really there was no like regular meeting cadence with the vice chair or any like specific roles and responsibilities that I think we had assigned. So that might be worth a conversation.
Like if it's necessary?
Yeah, if it's necessary or not.
I was just curious if it was making a gap in your roles, so.
No. Website traffic continuing to improve. We've been steadily seeing continued growth there. Happy to report we have a completion on the trash can project. Yay, us. Update though is that we can actually get these for $235 per can because we have 15 trash cans to vinyl wrap. So it's a slight discount from the $250. We have all the imagery selected. Thank you to Tara for helping push that through, and Dan, you did that. Well, you emailed, you got all the people in the right direction. So the Historical Society was able to provide us these high-res imagery. And then we'll have a little call out on the trash cans that says proudly brought to you by Visit Idaho Springs and the Historical Society of Idaho Springs on every trash can. So super excited to see that. These are pretty easily executable. We can get this done pretty quickly. I had to put the agenda out before I wrote my director's report because of Wonder's travels. So I will add, when we get to action items, we do have a few action items that are not on the agenda, but there will be a motion for you guys to approve the purchase. This is budgeted in our beautification. It's actually a rollover from last year. This was supposed to be purchased and finished last year when the trash cans were put in. But obviously we didn't do that. So this would be a pre-approved expense out of beautification. Facebook, we've been really just, again, continuing to grow. We ran a really productive 4th of July ad campaign. So that's in your director's report. really good engagement. And this was on the event itself. We spent $300 and we really saw a little over 14,000 in reach, and a lot of event responses that came through to that. So successful. We're gonna start seasonal marketing strategy for September to December. I'm gonna be working with Thrive. They will be coming in August to report on the metrics that they had this spring and summer, as well as their recommendation for our targeted ad campaign for September through December. Steve and I met with Ira from Happy Llama about the redesign of the barrier on Steve's block. I've been going back and forth in edits with the sign, but we'll have a final design. I'll email it out to the board, and if you guys could just reply with your feedback and we can get that new barrier sign finished. Okay, so something exciting that I've been working very hard on. Mayor and Andy have seen this, but nobody else has. As the board knows, I've been working on a visitor management plan through my Colorado leadership journey. And now I have to find those. And through that, we kind of identified the need for us to start. Everyone, we're gonna go ahead and sorry, we lost audio online. Thank you, Carla. Can you hear me now? Okay, perfect. I'm really thankful for Gary and Comba and the Argo team for helping connect me with the Colorado School of Mines. The Colorado School of Mines has what's called a field session program. These are internship programs that you can apply to. So this cost us nothing, which is amazing. I had 5 Colorado Mines students work with me for about 10 weeks. And in those 10 weeks, they developed a updatable, real-time Idaho Springs data management dashboard. So this takes data from sales tax, Argo ridership data, visit data from Placer, spending data from Arrival List, state economic metrics, visitation trends. This takes our parking data. So this takes all of our different data points that we all look at separately and puts them into one platform that can be easily updatable and that we can start making decisions on visitor management from. Now, this is not updated as of today. I'm working with a community member. Her name is Shelly. I also applied for a number 2 field session that will start for the fall to continue the development on this to make it easier for me to update. Because once I started going into how to update it, I was like, oh, eek. Holy cow, I am not a data expert. So I didn't want to break it more than anything else. But this has data up until I believe, yes, to economic metrics. Yeah, I think like sales tax data up until like April of this year. So each one of these pages has different metrics associated with it. So you can see this is average visits by spending category, and these are from Arrival List. This is sales tax income by category. You can see obviously there's food and beverage. Here you can see this is remote sales and home delivery. So all of that broken out. Here's the Argo ridership. It was again, it's not required for a private corporation to provide us with data, but Argo has been very transparent. So you can see here Sunday and Saturday, when are their highest ridership. This here is our visitation data for VCamp and the skate park. We're capturing the skate park because we are noticing that a lot of the riders for VCamp are parking at the skate park and riding over to VCamp. So we're capturing some of their data to kind of see those trends and flows. Here you can see inbound commuters, people that live here, residents, out of market visitors. So these are our out of market visitors. And then this is total parking revenue by location on these different lots and their revenue associated with them. This is the one dashboard that continues to need a lot more development. This is the visitor information. So this is the total visits from 2024 to 2026 as of April of visitors to the skate park. This is our total visits to Virginia Canyon Mountain Park. Again, the ridership data. All of these are updatable, so I can change the time filters on all of these to say, hey, I just want to see 2025's data, or hey, I just want to see 2024's data. Comba really helped with our trail counters. One thing that this identified for us is that we have a heavy need for new trail counters, additional trail counters within the Virginia Canyon Mountain Park system, that the current trail counters we have are not going to get us very accurate data due to placement and the type of trackers that we're using. So they have provided some recommendations on how we can make improvements to this data to get this more active data-wise. This is our economic metrics dashboard. This talks about total revenues. If I want to go down and we want to just look at 24 to 26, we can see our total sales tax revenue, our month over month comparisons, and the part of the budget. And again, sales tax by category. This is visitation trends. So this tells us where they're coming from, how many of them are coming from 10 to 30 minutes, 1 to 2 hours, 30 to 60 minutes, 2 to 4 hours. As again, we've talked a lot about, here's that number one place that people are coming from, Denver. And again, seeing that inbound versus out of bound commuters. This is Argo's data. This dashboard is continuing to work as well, needing a little bit more tuning in, but you can again see their average rider and kind of their capacity. Another thing we're going to put on this dashboard is how many parking spaces are at Argo and how many times they reach their parking capacity. Here's our parking data. This is very robust. We can really get down and dirty on the parking data, how many citations, our average length of stay, and the total number of transactions. And again, we can scale each one of these reports by date. Right now, you're looking at all the data that we put in there, which is actually since the very beginning of parking. We started in 2022 and we put everything we have up in. So this is the most data that we uploaded into this. It was a lot of work to get it trued up correctly. All right, and then spending data. This is all data generated off of the Arrivalist platform. This again talks about the different categories, the different places and visits by state, total spend per month. As you can see, there's that July with the most spending per month, and then categories of service as well. So Shelly's going to help me kind of continue to true up this data and make sure I know how to upload it. And then again, I've applied for field session for the fall to automate some of the data integration points so that all it has to do is go to this website, pull the data down and plug it in, or I can just easily drop a file in a box and it will automatically upload. The goal will be to continue to test this platform over the next couple of months with the board looking at it and giving the board members view access so you guys can see it. And then it will be able to make it a forward-facing dashboard so we can share this with our business community, because I think a lot of the data in here really will inform good business decisions and good marketing decisions. And then from a visitor management plan standpoint, this is really an opportunity for us to look at what are our visitation trends? Where do we need to look at instituting more heavy levels of visitor management? What does that look like as we continue to grow and as we continue to complete Virginia Canyon Mountain Park and the ball fields continue to do their projects and their renovations? So this is a really good platform that can help us understand how people are moving within Idaho Springs, how they're spending their money. Any questions on the dashboard?
When will we have access to it?
Probably by the next week. I want Shelley and I to go through it one more time and I want to add new data. I want to add our latest sales tax data. Wonder was out of town. So we're a little bit behind on, as you saw in your director's report, no sales tax numbers are in your report because we don't have them accessed yet. Bob?
Yeah, just a question, I'm assuming credit card data is the foundation of all of this?
Yeah, the spending data, arrival list, is all based off of credit card and debit card data. So our sales tax obviously includes cash. It's all money spent where taxes were charged on it. But the spending data gives you kind of an understanding based off of credit card. Yeah, and then the placer, to remind everybody, if you don't remember what that is, placer data is based off of cell phone positioning data. So if that is all based off of cell phones coming in and out of Idaho Springs, and then assumptions made on where that person is coming from is based off of their billing zip code of their cell phone. Any other questions on the dashboard?
So every time I come into town, it says New Hampshire.
Yeah, so it treats you as a visitor. If your registered billing address on your cell phone is out of state.
Oh, okay, billing address, not my 603.
No, not your zip
Gotcha.
code. It's your billing address based off of where your cell phone is billed to. Yeah. It's crazy. All right, let me make sure I don't have any questions online. All right. So that's a fun thing we've been working on. We're all good to go. I will be truing this up and also presenting this dashboard to City Council in August as well. So my goal is to have it as up to date and as accurate as possible, and also be going with recommendations to council about trail counters for Virginia Canyon Mountain Park at that time. So the COMBA team has been really helpful with that as we've been kind of looking at this data and understanding what the goals of it are. We worked on the crisis communications as per last month. The board kind of said for Andy and Chief and I to work on it, which we did. I sent them today kind of a summary of what we talked about, and we'll be developing an Idaho Springs by time statement, which essentially means that probably all the board members will get one just in case. City staff will have one, any other key points of contact. If we do have any kind of incident within Idaho Springs, it's a standard statement that everybody can say that gives them who the point of contact is to talk to in case of a point of emergency, which is dedicated as the chief of police. If it rises to the level of the county, it's an county emergency response officer. So we're starting to really develop that crisis communication plan that will align with the visitor management plan so that everybody is on the same page. As we all know, Virginia Canyon Mountain Park is an advanced park, and it's only a matter of time before something serious happens there. So it's important to kind of have our boots on the ground for that. Talked about the visitor management plan. I'm super excited to announce that Jess got Destination Blueprint. Woo! So for those that don't know, Destination Blueprint is an amazing state of Colorado program that helps municipalities work through visitor management, essentially.
Yeah.
And so Jess asked if I would like to co-apply for that, which we did. Doesn't cost us anything, thank goodness for that. But we were awarded that. It gives us 120
$100. So it comes in 3 phases. They'll do an assessment part where they get to learn about all of the areas that we applied with. So Idaho Springs would definitely be a part of this with all their amazing information. Step 2 would be a planning phase. So we get to kind of pick what kind of projects are important to us. Visitor experience is the top one. We're not trying to look to expand anything. We're trying to redefine, especially right now. County tourism is working on rebranding and uplifting to this new tourism era, and this program is going to help with that. The final phase is implementation. We get 100 hours of free consulting to get our projects done. So Sandy's already done a lot of great work here in Idaho Springs. This will help support that, but also don't forget DLD, we've got Empire, Silver Plume. We all want to make sure people are here behaving appropriately and loving it so they can tell the next generation of travelers. So, and the perk of this is, yes, every year we're gonna hear more and more about grants leaving and leaving. So we were one of 4 entities that were chosen for this program. So very competitive this year. Yeah, super competitive. And it will really set us up for that visitor management plan that I've been working on for you guys to be able to like move that into an executable thing that is taken off of my plate and not added to my plate. So now we can take what I worked on with my leadership journey and apply it from a practical standpoint so that we can continue that work and continue seeing kind of like the next steps as we move that forward. I did see a lot of wins in the visitor management plan. We facilitated a meeting with the chief of police, fire, EMS, COMA, Friends of VCamp, to kind of talk about EMS response, to kind of more formalize that. We did form a Virginia Canyon Mountain Park work group that got everybody that kind of plays around at Virginia Canyon Mountain Park at the table to talk about concerns, issues, what are the areas that we want to be watching for. So we kind of built a framework to have these conversations. So I will be presenting this leadership framework at my leadership journey this week. So I go to Glenwood this week. I present it, my team votes, and if I win, then I present it at GovCon, which happens in September. So we shall see how that all goes. 4th of July. I'm gonna let Steve talk about 4th of July. Yeah.
Well, in practice doing this, but I thought it was very successful as far as the great vibe and the activations in town. It definitely had that small town community feel. It was a high dwell rate of parking, so the commercial businesses on Main Street probably had an average at best day. But I think the vibe was great and everybody that participated had a great time.
And that was all because of the MC, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
MC was great.
We did again offer, so this was the first time, and I think we made the decision to offer a discounted all-day parking rate. So we can see the pros and cons when we do that. You know, we did have a ton of regional locals as well as locals in town that really spoke very highly of the event. While we didn't see the visitor turnover that we normally see, I'm still waiting on the placer data, so I don't have exact data of how many visits we've had for 4th of July year over year, but I think anecdotally, all the businesses stated that it was pretty significantly down. So again, this is conversations around fireworks. This board will be making a recommendation to City Council about what we want to do about fireworks moving forward. We did choose not to do fireworks at all this year, but we'll need to start having conversations about next year sooner rather than later. Because if we do want to do something like a drone show or any of those other things, that requires a lot of advance notice. And obviously from a budgetary standpoint, we need to make some conversations around that. Steve, Mike and I met to kind of talk about the recap and kind of some of our ideas around what we might do next year for 4th of July, if we were to say not have fireworks again next year, what that might look like and what we could do to draw people into town to stay longer, to stay later, to spend more money. So those conversations will definitely continue to be happening. But again, I think it was a great, I followed the mayor's guidance while I was out of here by 6:30, only because of Mike. Daniel?
I just wanted to comment if I could real quick on that, since I don't know if I'll be able to make any of the meetings where those discussions will happen. As a 100% disabled vet who avoids fireworks and has for over 10 years, please heavily consider having them next year. It is something that defines this country. It is something that draws people together. Even though it is something I personally cannot stand anymore, it is something that people need. So I would hope that the board and everyone would deeply consider the impact of what taking fireworks away does and what continuing to take them away could do.
Yes.
Still do have that 5-year contract with Zembelli.
We do. We still are contracted for, with Zembelli. So we have it reserved for the next 5 years. Although I think Zembelli has been a very good partner with us, and if we need to delay or rethink our conversations, we can.
Well, I just want to say, I thought that it was great to do kind of if possible, because I thought the daytime programming was really nice, and so if you could do fireworks with the daytime programming.
We would just have to consider budget because
Yeah,
the
exactly.
daytime programming costs a significant amount. And so it's all about where you want to spend your dollar or if we want to reallocate more money towards 4th of July. I mean, even without doing fireworks, we spent $25,000 on 4th of July,
Are drone shows more expensive than fireworks?
significantly more.
Are they offering different products or just like fireworks?
Zambelli, no, just the fireworks company, yeah, just fireworks. Rapid Grass is well underway in their things, update from them, they will be announcing a locals price today. So there will be a locals day price and a locals weekend price that will come out. The only thing is they won't be offering it online. So to purchase locals tickets, you will need to go to the Mercantile at the Argo and purchase them in person. This will be offered to Clear Creek locals, not just Idaho Springs locals. So they're really hoping to uplift the local festival vibe. And they are also currently seeking volunteers, so they wanted me to mention that. Mike is helping facilitate volunteer signups, so we'll be putting a volunteer sign-up sheet up soon, and I will make sure it's in the newsletter, so if anybody wants to volunteer for Rapid Grass, you're welcome to do so. We have started our planning on the Taste of Idaho Springs Music Festival, which will be October 2nd and 3rd. The Slaymakers are sponsoring that along with Tommyknockers. We'll also be partnering in with all the other restaurants and working with Shamrock, who's gonna help be kind of the food sponsor of the event to a certain extent. Really excited for that, and we're starting to really get some headway. I've had really productive meetings with CCMRD over the last couple of weeks. It's been wonderful. We have 2 fall programs that are gonna be really uplifted by CCMRD, the Pumpkin Smash, which we'll be supporting, and then the Zombie Fun Run will now be terminating on Minor, and we're gonna throw a daytime Halloween party. Halloween falls on a Saturday this year. Steve's been bugging me for years to create some kind of Halloween fun programming. So this is our opportunity. Amy and I are gonna do it together, which is amazing. Amy's gonna take responsibility for the fun run portion of it, while Visit Idaho Springs is gonna help with program 16th and Minor to create a zombie fun play zone and zombie costume contest and dog costume contest and all those fun things. It should be a great way for our locals as well as to attract some visitors in for Halloween. It's gonna be a daytime thing because again, we all know that the evenings are trick or treating on Colorado Boulevard is the way to go. And we do have several bars on Minor that do quite big Halloween parties. So we will be uplifting those bars on Minor doing their Halloween evening activities, which will be Moose, Gold Pan, and Pickaxe, who are all throwing Halloween parties on Halloween, as far as I know right now. Okay, community conversation, we rescheduled, that was fun, email, thank you guys for helping me with that, Thursday, August 13th. At Tommyknockers, we will be talking about visitor management, parking, a few updates from the downtown master plan, just kind of letting people know where we are in the phased implementation. It seems like we're getting really close to being able to say when we're gonna start kind of that phase 1 execution of the plan. We're getting closer and closer every time we talk about it. So I think by August, we'll at least be able to give a general outline of kind of what the phase 1 will look like. And then understanding that phase 2 of the downtown master plan needs funding, but being able to understand when the completion design or the 60% design will be done, which will be in the fall. So we'll be able to share the 60% design at that point. Lindsay, prior to her parting, had asked me to come up with a 1-pager, 1 piece of paper, and Steve asked me to become less wordy, which you all know I got lots of words, so that was challenging. A 1-pager that talked about who we are as a business and community promotion board, what we do, and what we offer to businesses and how they can engage with us. So I've talked to Wonder and she has agreed to start handing these out when she's handing out business licenses. So when a new business gets a business license, they'll get one of these. And then Lindsay and other community partners, I was hoping to ask Jenny to help me out on the East End, maybe, to go door to door and make sure that every business in Idaho Springs has one of these. Whether or not they're engaged or not engaged, this kind of gives them a summary on the front page of the different programs that are currently offered, the Live Local Discount Program, the Field House Resident Program, the Social Media Co-op, all it's closed for the summer, it will reopen this fall, events and promotions, the influencer partnership, and then co-branded merchandise. Talks about our strategic initiatives, the community events that this board is responsible for, so the events we as a board run. And then on the back are basically like what we do. And then all of our socials and our email lists. So that's done. Yay, us. If you have any feedback on it, please let me know. Steve's looked through it a couple of times. But if you guys have any feedback, please let me know. Otherwise, I'm gonna go ahead and start pushing it out. Okay, one topic. So something got brought to the attention of city staff, and I'm not gonna go into the specifics or the details, but it brought awareness to city staff and I around some holes in the downtown district's code. And requirements around design and aesthetic standards within the downtown district. As we continue to develop and evolve the Minor Street Marketplace and other activations within the downtown district, staff thought it might be a good idea to bring to this board an idea if we wanted some design standard and decoration standard recommendations to bring to council. We're not gonna be able to do the downtown master plan where all the parklets are gonna be the same for quite some time. That's gonna be down the road. So prior to that, do we want to provide some design aesthetics for encroachment areas? Do we want to have any regulations or rules around decorations that are allowed within the historic district? Kind of what are the thoughts around having any expectations within the historic businesses and within the historic district itself? I think the main thing would be that this would be a historic district standard, not an Idaho Springs standard. But that's where we're at. So I'm gonna let Steve kind of talk a little bit about you.
Well, I think to comment on that, the most important thing is that it's based on safety to start. So if there's any regulations, like you have to have a perimeter for liquor enforcement division.
Yep.
And then, so it's the trip hazards, all those things that be accountable first. As far as design standards, you start to push into some gray areas there, but I think it would be smart for the city to start having some vague ideas on what the branding is.
Or anybody else with thoughts?
Does the HPRC have anything to like, do they come into this at all?
Well, I mean, they have standards around design of buildings,
Like signage
And
and things like that.
signage.
If I could add, one thing that surprised me when I did my first stint on HPRC. Paint is nowhere,
It is not.
you know, I really thought you could have an 1880 building and paint it bright, look at me, pink.
Yeah, there's like 15 pages about windows, but nothing about paint.
Oh,
color.
it's amazing. And another one, I think that's a gaping hole that is not covered was your gutters. Because that can seriously affect the stability of a building. And where those gutters concentrate the water, where a building may have stood for 140 years with an even distribution, just say going off the edge. And now you choose to concentrate it. I was very surprised that was not. There definitely are some holes.
So Carla Online says, appropriate for planning to pull examples, to provide. So this is something we've been working with Dylan on. So, I think mainly the ask of the board is this something you want me to kind of start working on with Dylan around what might some recommendations be where we have identified some holes.
See what that group we work with for the
That's HDR.
for HDR, don't they have a booklet of like design standards? I think we communicate with people, it's a benefit for everybody. Or if we have like a design, just design standard guideline.
Yeah, especially potentially around encroachments. I think this summer we had some challenging encroachments at the beginning, mid-season. So I think it does affect the aesthetic and the way the visitor views it in a lot of ways. So I think safety is a big thing to make sure that it's safe. And then also like some visual standards for encroachments might be a way to go. I mean, again, more like guidelines versus like you have to do this or you have to do that, more of like certain things that are kind of guidelines to follow might be helpful. Tara? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I feel like it's a good idea to have some guidelines. But when you're having a business owners spend the money to do it, especially, I don't know what happened, but like coming in on the back end of that, I think it's pretty unrealistic to have people that can buy after they, they're providing.
Oh, I don't think it would be something for this year. I think this would be like a next year adoption thing. I don't think we would be like, hey, you have to fix this now, kind of a thing. And again, I don't think any of it would be would be too extensive or expensive. I think basic kind of.
I think basic and vague, but also suggested things better for everybody. You have to do something anyways, and over time, you move that direction. Maybe there's even some purchasing of the book. It's the advantage if you want to have that book or parallels.
Yeah, we could also even treat it almost like we do the flower program, where the city could purchase things like in a bulk fashion and then we can sell them to the businesses at a discount.
I'd like, those others, when you're spending your own business money to improve business for the city, I can see that being kind of what you.
Yeah, so what the board would do we would make recommendations to city council and then city council would discuss it with Dylan and planning. So this would be something that is not we wouldn't be responsible for writing these regulations or enforcing these regulations. This would be some things that we would adopt, that we would recommend city council adopt to code.
That was gonna be my question, was about enforcement. Because we talk about like vague guidelines, but then why even do them if they're just kind of vague guidelines or best practices? Like if it's not an enforcement mechanism, mean that people just do whatever they want anyways. And I don't really have a dog in this fight either way. I was just curious, like.
I think it's just to go in that direction. Ideally, I know what part of the infraction that we're talking about was, but it's just to get there. You don't want to come down with the board and say, you can't do this, you can't do this. It's like, you live in the cooperate.
So it's not really an aesthetic issue, it's a safety issue.
That's good.
Both safety and aesthetic.
Both
Yeah.
issues.
Both issues. And again, I think this is just the two circumstances. It wasn't just one, it was two circumstances. Didn't just bring, one brought a very clear gap in the code. It's like clearly just not addressed because like one doesn't think about those things. And then the other is more around safety and making sure that encroachments are safe. That they are held to a standard of certain level of safety, like wind breeding and water and all those things, so that if, as we know, we deal with a lot of weather here that we can't always protect from multi-gusts or those things, but the standard goes kind of crazy that. So kind of what I think I'm hearing from the board is kind of exploring with Dylan some ideas around recommendations we can make, and then I can bring it back to you guys.
And the other communities do.
That's another thing to explore for sure.
Just like one note on that too, maybe like the cell inventory would be like that's on my insurance, right?
Yes, it is.
On my insurance, and I have up to $1 million, but I don't want an insurance claim on me because I did something, so like that could be some business protection.
It is.
That's it.
Okay, last but not least, there's an updated budget spreadsheet in there for you guys to check out. Most, like I said, I think the major thing on the budget is looking at that 4th of July spending. We're just tracking right on. So we still have our 8,500 in sponsorship dollars really, well, more like 7 something, because 4th of July did go over a little bit over budget, covered by sponsorship dollars. So really tracking well this year and on budget, nothing significant in overspending, and obviously we saved around $19,000 by not doing fireworks. Something that Steve and I have been talking a lot about, we're not the only ones, but kind of thinking towards the end of the year what we might want to consider recommendations on buying something like a sound system and stage.
Weston Big spends $25,000 for 4th of July.
9,500 of that was stage and sound.
You could kind of buy stage and sound for that much money.
And we could use it in more than one space.
And you could rent it out really easy ROI.
We also, Steve, we could store it at
Storage, so we have storage.
We can store it at Public Works.
Oh, perfect.
Mhm. Another thing is we have a local fabricator, that Steve feels pretty confident could make us this stage, significantly less than what it would cost to buy the stage. Also, something that's really important to note is that Clear Creek, Arts and Education has a grant for $5,000 to go towards a stage. So if we partnered with Clear Creek Arts and Education, we could spend a little less and have a partnership on activations and running that stage with an amazing community partner. So I think we're really getting to the point where in this community, if we're going to be doing some of these reworks on Idaho and creating more of these programmable spaces, I think we're at the stage, at the time for a stage. We're at the stage for a stage, guys. While I don't think that decision needs to be made today, I am going to continue to start exploring that. Steve has been looking at costs around sound systems. I've been working with Carla and Amy with CCCAE, Clear Creek Arts and Education, on the grant that they've applied for, and kind of looking at how we can bring all of those pieces together so that we could solve for this. I mean, this has been something we've been trying to solve for like 7 years now. So I think this is the year, because we saved some money on fireworks, that this would be a really good capital investment. It's a low hanging fruit capital investment. It would save so much. And then all we have to do is pay for a sound engineer, and that's it. And that is like, you can pay a sound engineer like $100. Like, not that they're great, but you can pay an average sound engineer like $400 and they'll be good. So I just feel like it's been great working with Nomad. They're wonderful. However, even Nomad has said that we're at the point in time where it would benefit us to consider going that direction, especially because we have an arts and education nonprofit that is actively working towards more programming, and has been actively pursuing major grants, and major community matches. And this would speak to a lot of solves that that organization needs as well. So just want to keep that in your hats, as I will probably be bringing you a recommendation next month. Check.
When you do this, and I'm all in favor of it, chat with Tommy Cielo, because he's got so much experience in this. And,
Oh, yep.
We've been trying to connect with him.
yeah, definitely coordinate with Tommy, because he's got a lot of experience.
Okay, update from our businesses. Steve, you go first.
Summer's been really good. This weekend was good, hot, busy. Parking capacity is the first one there. I think we finally made up from being off all week. So I think we're break even for the year, which is great. We have plenty of season left to well, so it's gonna really good some.
Lana?
Yeah, I mean, same-ish, like, I mean, we're still growing year over year, so we're kind of a still strange and still growing, which is good, but yeah, June beat last year's June, and July is already beat last year's July, so.
Jenny, do you like to be president? You've seen that. Kara,
Retail is up, which is good, weddings are just up, program up, which is good. And then Chris, it's been slower. And she- Not sure.
perfect. Any updates from the audience? Anybody want to provide an update? Chip, any updates you want to share with the group?
Business hasn't been too bad. June was a lot stronger than the last 2 weeks of July. The first 2 weeks of July seem to be a little bit slower than last year for us. Basically, I'm seeing probably less traffic later in the afternoon, and evening, things are really going down a little bit earlier. But basically, it hasn't been too bad. June was pretty strong. I think the smoke the first couple of weeks of July helped a little bit.
I will also speak to, I spoke to some partners in Colorado tourism, and something that they notated was that because the fires made national news and the tone and messaging around that was Colorado mountains on fire, they saw a 35% cancellation rate on Colorado vacations. And that extended into the fall season. So they're noting that their lodging partners are seeing a significant increase in their July, August, and September lodging bookings, that a lot of people canceled because of the national coverage that those fires received, as well as the air quality that then followed those announcements. And again, it wasn't specific. The national coverage that Colorado received was Colorado mountains, not specific regions or specific places. So it definitely created a dynamic that the Colorado Tourism Office has been watching pretty closely. And Jess and I both have seen it in our groups and in our newsletters. It's been pretty impactful to the mountain communities. Some mountain communities are seeing upwards of like 50 to 60% cancellations due to their adjacentness or closeness to the actual fires. So I will say that while it's challenging, have a little bit of benefit because we're not close.
Yeah, we are not seeing
Yeah.
that at all.
Good.
I mean,
Yeah, and so we just have to kind of keep our eye on that, but on the national PR stage, we have not been playing. Colorado has not been playing.
And I think with gas prices going back up, you benefit from it.
Yeah, we do. We almost always benefit when gas prices are high because we're accessible and close. So that makes a huge difference. I was talking to CDOT and the folks that run the bus staying program, and they have seen a significant number of increase in bus staying ridership to Idaho Springs. So again, while marketing to them might not always win, we are seeing them increasing and coming. So it might be a strategy worth reconsidering again, just as they are seeing a significant increase in those bus staying riders up here to Idaho Springs. Yes. Oh, yes. I forgot in my director's report, I called out some really important events that are coming up. One that I forgot to mention that's really important is that this weekend on Saturday is going to suck. It's just a lot all in one day, and I don't know how we missed this or didn't see it coming, but okay, so the I want to call it Mount Evans Hill Climb, but the Mount Blue Sky Hill Climb is Saturday in the morning. So they will be slowly departing off 14th and Minor and going up 103. And then their party is on 16th and Minor downtown in the afternoon and evening. At the same time, the high school is having their 5K Gold Digger race that will be based out of Carlson at the same time. Yay for all of us. And they're also having the high school reunion on afternoon. Okay, so all three of those things are happening at the 103 exit. Pretty much all at the same time.
The most significant thing is zero parking for your employees when you get paid weekend at the center.
Yeah.
Every parking spot kind of taken.
They are at least paying a race rate for parking.
So you warn your employees that you had employees just drive around and go home for something that's hard. And, come up with solutions for them.
Yeah, so that is gonna be something, the race starts at, the race starts at 6 a.m. to 8:30 is when the race start is. They won't be back down here until around 11.
A lot of them are gone at 11 o'clock. They get back down and then skip the cars and then leave, so parking opens up at 10:30, 11.
They are throwing a celebration downtown this year, so we're hoping that that enhances them going to the businesses, similar to the effect we saw from the GTIS last year by moving the race finish into downtown. So this will be the second time we've had a race finish. Although they finish at the top, they come down here or bus down here to have their party down here. So the goal is to hopefully see them supporting the businesses. This will be the second time we've had a race finish in the downtown district, so feedback is always welcome. That leads us into the GTIS is coming on August 8th. And then we'll have another bike race, the Charge Across Colorado bike race, which will be August 15th. So there will be a decent amount of races. Now, as a reminder, we did create a race rate for parking. So that means these racers are paying a race rate to park instead of not paying to park really at all and then leaving before parking starts. But as you said, this weekend parking is going to be very challenging. So pay attention to that. Okay, any other updates online? I'm gonna check online first, then I'll get to you. Amy, before I get to online, any updates you want to share?
Just that the shooting range is opening on Saturday as well. And we will have some, we will have some dignitaries, et cetera, there, as well as shooting contests and stuff, so if anybody's interested in, you can get out of here and work.
Awesome. Jan, any historical society updates?
No, we are moving again tonight, and then we will be coming to the city hall for a renewal of our rooms.
Mike, any updates from you back there?
We're looking for volunteers for Rapid Draft. I'll be sending out that volunteer sign up.
Okay, anybody online have an update they want to share or anything they want to speak to? Right, open floor.
Business update.
Yes.
The Free Mountain Press, I'm sure many of you have never even heard of, but it has been a Clear Creek County paper for 7 months now. I am trying to increase circulation and I'm trying to increase my advertising revenue. This currently costs me $80 a month to run. I'm trying to get to revenue neutral so I can expand the paper a little bit more, but I'm seeing about 50% local and 50% tourist viewing of my paper. The digital PDF version goes pretty much entirely to local, and then the physical copies are going mostly to visitors. So I'll be coming around to a lot of the businesses and stuff like that, talking to you all about potentially advertising, but letting you guys know there is a paper here that is catering specifically to Clear Creek County for free for the public.
Cam put a note in the chat that the ball fields got GoCo funding. So 750,000 towards the ball field redesign, which is amazing. So second round of that grant for them. So that's a huge win. And really excited to see that project start to come to life as well.
And that should
Finish the project. Amazing. Okay. Andy, Mayor, any updates you want to share?
Well, the 750,000 will be doing the half court basketball down at the ball fields. The tennis courts that some longer time locals remember that were just east of the visitor center will be replaced, although these days I'm sure they'll be used for pickleball. There's going to be some play ground equipment for younger kids that will also be going in. And Then we got, was it $50,000? We've got another grant, so 50 or 75.
75 for the transit.
Yeah, we got a $75,000 transit study, grant. And this is for electric trolley
Oh, yeah.
and it's electric only. So I think for the size of our community, that was a very generous, grant. It also gives us, once we've done the feasibility, it gives us a leg up on, applying for, higher dollar value grants. For example, to get, an electrified trolley, simply because we've done all the homework. So that's a couple recent things that happened.
Maybe we should just get a try like we had at Fourth of July.
I think
The
that'd be-
train.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah.
It fits adults too, so.
Yeah.
Hey, you know, all you need is a lawnmower. Riding lawnmower, anyone? Let's go. Also to mention another grant coming in, Carla also notated that CCCAE Arts and Education was awarded a $50,000 grant from the Great Gates Foundation, which will be used towards unlocking that, how many?
1.538 million.
Yay!
To spend.
They're trying to spend this money. So also that stage project that we talked to can also go towards that match grant. So I think there's a lot of momentum finally, yay, getting that money unlocked so that we can have arts and education in the community.
So with the electrified trolley, is that working in conjunction with the roundabout system, or is that going to replace roundabout in?
Oh, no, it would definitely work in conjunction with it. And
And this
and
is just a
it's
feasibility.
just Idaho Springs.
Okay, so it only would be, wonderful. And we looked at what the potential maintenance costs are, because after we get the grant, we have to maintain that.
This is for the feasibility study, so that would be in the feasibility study. Yeah, so this is not for an electric trolley, this is for a study to see if we qualify and what all the pitfalls of having a trolley.
You know, if it pencils with hiring, and as many of us know in this room, that really is rough, getting somebody with a CDL, you know, so it's expensive.
Post office is getting ready to get rid of a lot of people.
So one last reminder that I want to make sure everybody hears, just to make sure, I'm going to put a call out in the newsletter for our new board member, but for those of you that are interested in applying to be a board member, we've already talked. A letter to me and Wonder by August 5th. And then August 10th will be the city council meeting in which city council will appoint us a new board member. So I will put that call out, and then, letters of intent are due to me by August 5th. If there's nothing else, I will call us out at 3:04. Make sure it's